Welcome to Inland Empire Alive, bringing you issues, events, and perspectives from throughout San Bernardino and Riverside counties. I'm David Brady, and on today's show, Jennifer Valencia and Deputy Mike Jones with the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department discuss the Blue Envelope Program, a new initiative designed to solve communication challenges. That's today on Inland Empire Alive. Well, joining me now to talk about a new program designed to assist certain people with communication challenges are Jennifer Valencia and Deputy Mike Jones with the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department. Welcome to the program.
Thank you, sir.
So we're talking about the Blue Envelope Program, which some folks may or may not be familiar with. Can you give me an overview of what it is and who it's for?
It's a communication tool that helps our deputies better communicate with somebody that might have some challenges, who self-identify as having any kind of condition they may find having a hard time communicating when pulled over.
So, Deputy, can you give me an example of a scenario where that might arise out in the world?
Yeah, so a lot of times, when you do have a traffic stop or respond to a scene, definitely don't know who the person is. So some of those challenges of communication, depending on if it's autism, some light mental health, PTSD, dementia, things like that, where it might be a communication, or certainly with lights and sirens on a traffic stop, scares me still, but might challenge with the way communication. So being able to identify the person with a blue envelope, they're able to provide that to a deputy on a scene and then know how to address that issue.
So what is the blue envelope? There is literally a blue envelope.
There is. So it's an envelope that can be picked up at any of the stations. All of our stations participate in it. And there's no questions asked that somebody comes in and asks for a blue envelope. They're handed one. They can place inside their copy of their registration, their insurance, and they actually fill out the form. That way, it's not a HIPAA violation. They're doing all of the filling out of the information themselves.
And is it that the envelope has information on it so that when you hand it, it will sort of speak for the individual?
Correct. And most deputies are going to know that the envelope, what it stands for, and so it will better prepare them for their conversation.
Well, can we talk about the idea of it that be sort of a visual cue? That again, it's more than something you pull out of a glove compartment. There are also other visual identifiers.
That's absolutely correct. There's stickers that they can place on the vehicle, and a lot of times those are used for anybody that's in the vehicle. The blue envelopes are actually designed for the driver, where the other stickers, the seatbelt cover, that it can indicate that for anybody else that's in the vehicle.
I guess it's important to point out, who is the program for and maybe who is it not for? I understand it's primarily for folks with these developmental challenges, the developmental and intellectual disabilities, not necessarily for a family member.
It's interesting that you say that, because I've received phone calls from people that have asked specific questions, primarily like, would it get him out of a ticket? That would always be a kind of an indicator of something that is not typically it's definitely not what it was designed for. Correct. It wasn't the intent. But who it definitely is for is anybody that has any self-identifying conditions that would pertain to the deaf community, anybody that is nonverbal, who definitely would need to have that type of identification.
Let's talk a little bit about how this got started. I understand that it originally began a couple years back in Connecticut, and there was a push to try to get it on the ballot in California, but it failed. But a lot of communities are moving ahead voluntarily. Can you talk about the reason why that communities are kind of moving forward with this, why there's a passion to kind of move this forward now?
Well, from our standpoint, it's if you think about it, for a deputy walking up on a traffic stop, if he does not know what he's about to come in contact with, let's say, as Deputy Jones had mentioned, that if lights and sirens have triggered something, then they have a better understanding of knowing it protects the deputy as well as protecting the community. So there's that right there is a fantastic drive to be able to, a tool to be able to use that.
And Deputy, what are some of the feedback you've gotten from folks in the community, either folks with disabilities who may actually utilize the program or loved ones, caregivers?
Yeah, so this is really a partnership with the Inland Regional Center and Rockin' Disabilities and Autism Society and several others. And really, it's about building that relationship with those communities. And typically law enforcement has not done a well, relationship building with these individuals and things like that. So from the families and some of the individuals, it's, extremely well perceived. Most of the agencies within San Bernardino County outside the Sheriff's Department has also adopted it, as well as the fire department. So, building that bond for trust, because a lot of times, maybe that trust has been broken down in the past. So it has a very well, kind of trust building, relationship building with the community that's kind of been left out by law enforcement. So it's definitely kind of changed that direction and really well perceived throughout the county.
When we come back, we'll have much more with Jennifer Valencia and Deputy Mike Jones from the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department right after these messages.
Join us for our weekly farmers market in San Bernardino. The farmers market is ongoing every Tuesday at Court Street Square, located at 349 Northeast Street from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. This event features both farmers and hot food vendors. Come purchase fresh produce at the farmers market and enjoy a nutritious lunch for the day. This is a certified farmers market with fresh and quality produce grown by real farmers from the region. For more information, visit our website at sbcity.org/parks. You can also call us at 909-384-5233 or email us at recreation@sbcity.org. See you there.
Well, I'm talking with Deputy Mike Jones and Jennifer Valencia from the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department about some wonderful new initiatives to help those with some communication challenges. I know another program that the department organizes is called the Safe Return Program. Can you talk a little bit about that and the audience that it's intended for?
So that's an excellent program as well. The Safe Return Program is primarily for those who have wandered away, who have shown as being missing. Family members can input their information into this system that it's along with pictures, maybe places that they like to frequent. It aids our deputies in being able to track them sooner. It gives them as much information as they can when they're out in the field.
I know this is a term that a lot of people aren't familiar with. Elopement. They hear that term and they don't realize that's how they refer to it. When maybe an autistic child might decide, I don't want to be in school anymore, and they just get up and walk out. I've actually had that happen in my own family.
Sure.
You talked early on about why this is a voluntary program and there was no registry component. Why is that so critical?
I think because most people, if they would fear that they would be put into a system, so it makes that individual or that family feel better knowing that it's not in any type of system that they're being tracked.
How has the partnership been with some of these other agencies? You mentioned Inland Regional Center, Autism Society, Inland Empire. What was it like kind of working with those folks to kind of develop not only the assets, but then to implement it, to roll out the training, to actually see it in person and see, like you say, the impact of the people who are seeing the building of trust?
I think the relationship, the program wouldn't really be here today without the support of them, and building with the Inland Regional Center to be able to get some of the merchandise and things out there for identifying the individuals, as well as them sharing it when people come in to one of those programs, sharing, encouraging them to take part in it, especially with all the different cultures that we have in San Bernardino County. Some might have more distrust, and being able to build that relationship for them to do that, as well as getting them to come to a station if that's what they choose because of the distance to some of the resources in the vast county. So that really helps as well, building that relationship.
Since this is so fundamental about communication, I thought it was interesting that you offer a brochure that's multilingual. How important was that it wasn't just English, that, as you say, this touches so many different cultures. Mm-hmm. There are so many different languages spoken in this area, and the county is so physically vast.
And exactly for that reason. We have so many individuals, and it's such a great program, and it's so important. We want to make sure that everybody can take advantage of that.
I was shocked a few years ago to discover that I myself am autistic. If I or someone like me were seeing this segment and wanted to find out more about the program, is there somewhere that they could go? Is there somewhere that they could learn more about it, either online or in person?
Well, definitely through our website, the Sheriff's Department's website, San Bernardino County Sheriff's website. But the Inland Regional Center's website as well has a great breakdown about what the Blue Envelope is all about.
And Deputy, what's like I asked another guest, what's your pitch for why someone should use it? I mean, what's the, you know, if someone is kind of thinking about it or like, well, I don't know. I mean, is it for me?
Right. And, you know, it's certainly up to the individual, but really, it really helps law enforcement, even if it's a traffic accident. And maybe, you know, something's happened, maybe you're not verbal, and being able to maybe see that envelope that's, you know, above in the windshield visor or something like that. It'll be able to help with that communication, help identify, help with the emergency contacts. So it has numerous benefits. And really, you know, again, sometimes just those communication challenges, you know, with somebody kind of tensed up during a traffic stop or whatever, just eases that, helps with de-escalation, helps with the way they're going to communicate. Sometimes, you know, depending on the situation, might have to slow down in communication. You know, maybe somebody gets angered by something. So those different triggers, and that Blue Envelope really just helps build that, you know, relationship. All of our deputies go through crisis intervention training to, you know, be able to know some of the challenges in the different disabilities and how to communicate, how to make a better relationship with them. So that Blue Envelope really could be a lifesaver in some situations.
You know, I think it's key that we point out that this isn't just traffic stops. Those are the you know, encounters that everybody is familiar with, and everybody probably has a particular POV. This is, like you said, it could be a firefighter, it could be an ambulance, it could be, you know, just someone in need of help. It's not necessarily those classic situations that you say are, you know, are frightening or scary. You know, it could be someone that legitimately is lost and confused. There are so many other avenues where this could be utilized. Is it fair to say?
Absolutely.
Well, before I let you go, I want to make sure that we give people a reference to where they can find it more. You mentioned Inland Regional Center. You can go to their website at inlandrc.org. They have a page devoted to the Blue Envelope program. They have wonderful resources. They've got videos that explain the program. They've got some information about kind of, you know, how it's being rolled out locally. You can go to the Sheriff's Department website within sbcounty.gov. And then I want to reiterate, how can people get the actual Blue Envelope, the brochure, and the paraphernalia, the free swag that you talked about, the freebies?
That's so important. It's all of our stations. All of our stations within San Bernardino County is participating. So all they need to do is walk into the lobby to the front and ask for a Blue Envelope. And like I said, no questions asked. They are handed
and at
a
this
blue
point,
envelope.
everybody knows what that phrase means?
Correct. Yeah, absolutely. And like we live by this. We, for the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department, we are dedicated to your safety. So it is all about safety. So we are huge believers in this, and that's all they need to do is walk into the lobby and everybody knows about it.
Well, Jennifer Valencia, Deputy Mike Jones, I want to thank you so much for being here today to talk about this program. I encourage everyone to read about it, learn more about it, decide if it's for you, decide if it's appropriate for your condition. And again, thank you for being here.
Thank you, sir.
Visit iealive.com.